Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the Board of Commissions, City of Bowling Green, Kentucky, regular meeting, City Hall, January 21st, 2025 at 4:30 p.m. We're going to begin this evening with the invocation and pledge of allegiance. I'm going to turn it over to Commissioner Sue Perigin.
Thank you, Mayor. Appreciate that. Welcome, everybody, and wow, it's great to see a sea of purple. We're a purple family, so this is another great day. We had purples last 2 weeks ago also. So I'd like to introduce an exceptional young man that I met at the Rotary Club. His dad's a member of the Rotary Club, and so am I. And I met young Fred Williams here. And this is his mom and his sister, Layla. And so I want to introduce him. His dad took the liberty of giving me a few things to say. They're members of the State Street Presbyterian Church. Young Fred is 14 years old. He's a curious and driven man with a passion for learning and exploration, whether disassembling electronics, so anybody needs their electronics, call Fred, and appliances at home, studying Spanish or preparing to study French and Arabic this fall. Fred's thirst for knowledge is evident in all he does. He will graduate high school, remember he's 14, this spring while maintaining a 3.6 GPA at Kentucky Sky CTC, where he is dually enrolled. His upbringing has been enriched by diverse cultural experiences, having spent much of his youth between multiple countries. This March, he will begin an internship with a government-affiliated scientific nonprofit, further broadening his horizons. Beyond academics, Fred enjoys building computers, a skill he accomplished at just 12, playing video games, and pursuing martial arts as a gray belt in jiu-jitsu. Fred embodies a balanced blend of academic ambition, technical skills, and personal growth, making him an impressive young leader. And Fred, I want to congratulate you on all of these accomplishments at such a young age. The reason I was inspired to have Fred here today, first of all, we're going to hear a nice invocation from him, and then he wants to say the pledge in a few words, but is that when young people see other young people with these types of accomplishments and these types of goal setting and experiences, that I would like to make sure that they hear about that, and he's not living in a vacuum over there, that he's inspiring others to do and be all that they can be. So with that, welcome, Fred. Can we stand for the invocation?
I thank God for bringing us all together. I pray for God that we all get home safe. I pray to God for the people who are dealing with the natural disasters in LA. I pray to God for the people who are going to war. And I thank God for bringing me here today. Amen.
Amen. Fred's going to lead us in the pledge.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Now, Fred just wanted to say a few words. Thank you, sir.
I want to say thank you for Commissioner Perigin bringing me here today and inviting me to allow me to recite the pledge and pray. Over the years, I thought about which job should I decide to do when I get older, whether it was mechanical engineering or coding, or maybe some of the jobs that you guys decided to do. But hey, I'm still a kid, so don't hold that selection against me. Anyways, thanks for having me here. God bless you, and good night.
Thank you so much. And thank you. And thank you to your parents for allowing you to come and do that. It's a great way to start our meeting. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Fred. I don't know if you caught that. He's in college, and he's 14. That's an incredible feat. Well done. It's an honor to have you here tonight. Mrs. Jackson, will you please provide a roll call?
Commissioner Beasley Brown. Here. Commissioner Hill.
Here.
Commissioner Perigin.
Here.
Commissioner Bailey. Here. Mayor Alcott.
Here. Ladies and gentlemen, at this time, it is an honor to recognize commitment, to recognize excellence, perseverance, dedication, but most importantly, excellence. And I'm going to ask Coach Bobby Dotson to come up to my right. We have a couple things to announce to our community, but it is an honor that our city gets to recognize excellence. Is Coach Dotson, she here? There she is. She's blending in as purple. Coach Dotson, we have a special presentation for you, but first we want to recognize a continuance of excellence. Up here we have, raise your hand if you're in junior high at Bowling Green Junior High. Raise your hand. There's our junior high. These ladies have accomplished 3 years in a row, their third time, to win the state title in cheerleading. So congratulations. We have some more purples up here. If you're in high school, cheerleader, raise your hand. Ladies and gentlemen, the ladies that are raising their hand right now have achieved not once, not twice, but not 3 times, but 4 times to win the state title for the state of Kentucky in cheerleading. Congratulations. And to my right, to recognize this excellence, we have a token of our appreciation and for excellence, Coach Bobby Dotson. This is the city key, and this is presented for excellence to you. And you are the Coach of the Year by Kentucky
High School Athletic Association.
for cheerleading. It's well deserved, and it's an honor to give you this and handshake. Ladies and gentlemen, give it up for our Bowling Green Junior High and High School Cheerleaders of the Year 2024. It's going to be an hour-long meeting, maybe 2. Y'all welcome to stay, cheerleaders, or you can go out and celebrate. Up to you all.
Congratulations. Thank you all. Bring it home again. You know the secret now.
Thank you.
Amazing. Amazing.
Dotson,
I know, she went. Hello.
What about this kid?
you could, yeah.
I mean, amazing. Yeah, he said, when should I do my speech? I'm like, at the end. I got Sean to take some photos. I'll send some. Okay. Oh, Melinda, what a week. There's no wonder you're right. Thank you, Charlotte.
Yeah, I wanted to let you know just in case, but I don't know if it's public, so, yeah.
All right, well, thank you, ladies and gentlemen. What a great way to start our evening. At this time, I'm going to turn it over to our city manager, Mr. Jeff Meisel, for comments.
I just have a few, Mayor. First of all, I want to recognize and congratulate Kirsten Homer. She's in our HR department. She recently passed her exam to be a SHRM CP, which is Society of Human Resources Management Certified Professional. It's a very big accomplishment. It's a hard test, and I'd like to congratulate Kirsten Homer for that. She handles all of our benefits for the city and does a great job. So congratulations to Kirsten. And then there'll be a need for a closed session. I'd like Ashley to read the reason for that.
Pursuant to KRS 83A1504D for the purposes of conducting a performance evaluation of the city manager.
So move.
Second.
Moved by Commissioner Hill, second by Commissioner Perigin. Discussion? None? Roll call, please.
Beasley Brown. Hill.
Yes.
Perigin.
Yes.
Bailey.
Yes.
Alcott.
Yes.
And then finally, if you are in the audience and would like to make public comments, please sign the register at the back of the room, and we'll take those up after our regular session. That's all I have, Mayor. Thank you.
I think we have at this time the South Central Workforce Development Board update, and Mr. Swords and Brian Becker. How y'all doing this evening?
Good evening, Mayor. Good evening, City Commission. How are you?
Great. Thank you for being
I
here.
thought about doing a cartwheel on my way up here, but I decided against it.
Leave that for the pros.
Yeah,
Yes.
cheerleaders.
So good evening. My name is John Swords. I'm the President and CEO of the South Central Workforce Development Board, and we're honored to be here. What we wanted to do this evening was provide you a quick recap of the work we've done to serve our new American community with employment over the course of 2024. Brian will be doing most of the presentation, but to set the stage on how we got here tonight is in December 2021, obviously we had the devastating tornado that came through, and on the heels of that, we were able to submit and receive grant funding for what we call our tornado grant to serve our entire community. But what we wrote into that grant was a New American Navigator position. And we were able to hire that position in March of 22. And for about a year and a half, that position was gangbusters. And we got to around November of 2023, we were coming up on the end of that grant period. And again, the position had done really well, and we had served a lot of folks. And we approached Jeff Meisel and Judge Executive Gorman about the idea of continuing that position with joint funding from both the city and the county. And so both were agreeable to that proposal, brought it before this body, brought it before the Warren County Fiscal Court, and agreed to fund that, continue to fund that position for another 18 months. So that was 12 months ago that the funding was authorized, so we're 12 months into an 18-month period. And again, what we'll do is we'll talk about some of the work we've done throughout 2024 to continue to serve our new American community. So I'll turn it over to Brian Becker to provide that portion of the update.
Thank you.
All right, yes. Good evening, commissioners and audience, those watching at home. Yeah, it's an honor to get to speak to you guys because you guys blessed us with being able to keep this position going. And we wanted to give you an update that reflects the hard work and effort that's happened. So we've provided a handout. I know it's being shown on the screens here, kind of a two-sided thing, but we saw a huge need to just give information to people. A lot of people just don't know where to start. And so we actually had 1,000 people come to workshops. So we started to serve them towards the end of last year in this way, in their language, and communicating expectations on the most common job opportunities we have here in the area and what their role in the process was. And we've done that many times in Spanish and Swahili, in English and a few other languages, and people have just kept coming. But we make that a qualifier for service. And so we had thousands of referrals that we were able to give to, one person might have 2 or 3 applications, so we count that as a referral, and you can see the numbers on that. But some of those employers that we've helped, I mean, we've continued to help Tyson. They're fully staffed. We have new employers that, not necessarily new to the area, but that are expanding and growing. That are on our radar now. And so we just wanted to give just a moment to thank you for the amazing results that you guys have created through funding this position alongside the fiscal court here in Warren County. And, we want this work to continue. The demand has not slowed down. The audience that is seeking the services are finding still a lot of dead ends, and when they come to us, they are so desperate for a fresh start or a solid job opportunity that can speak to their needs. And so we've also continued to do our really specific, and the city of Bowling Green has participated in this, job fair for new Americans and our service providers. And so we had another 350 people show up to that this year, and 13 employers with generating 600 referrals to those companies. And as well, we had over a dozen resource providers. So again, we're creating huge systemic things here. We want to get better as we move into 2025. And the commitment from the city and the fiscal court is to fund this through June. But again, we would love to see that continue. But we just owed you guys an update. So that's what we were here to do. And we can answer any questions or we can move out of the way. Thank you guys so much.
John, Brian, thank you for being here. We may have some questions. Yes,
do.
Linda.
Brian, you said when they finally get to us, they're at their wits' end. What can we do to get them to you quicker?
Oh, man, that's a good question. Well, so it's still bigger than one person. I should say that too, that we actually had 5 assistants that helped, some interns, some paid and unpaid interns that came to us. Some were subsidized by our federal government dollars that we have, the WIOA program. But I mean, as far as we've worked with the community leaders so that they know, and that usually has generated a lot. But I will tell you, a lot of the job seekers that we had were newly arrived people from Cuba. Some had come straight from Cuba. And other times they've lived in other states and came here. Some have even come from Louisville, right? And we were seeing this phenomenon happen in 2023. So they find out about us sometimes before they find out about other service providers. So that's actually worked really, really well. But our focus has still been on those longer term residents that are here and letting them know about the services. But we did launch a resource card called the Job Seeker Map. That's available in different languages. We had a couple of financial backers and sponsors of that, so I encourage you guys to check that out. Jobseekermap.com. It's in English as well, but it lays a lot of vetted resources out there for people to easily connect with service providers. Yeah.
How is your relationship with the International Center? Are you guys?
Yeah, that became, it's always been good, but it got better this year. We in this past year, we've been working with their employment team. And so a lot of times our navigator and their employment placement people were going on visits together with companies here to learn about the job opportunities and take tours and bring that information back to the people.
That's
Absolutely.
Great to know.
Yep.
Great.
Yeah, it's worked really well. You got another 45 minutes, Ms. Beasley Brown? So yeah, this is something really to share and highlight what works, right? So we give the advice to the job seekers, but we've got to turn around and give that advice to the employers as well. And so we have tried to convene employers. We've worked with the Chamber of Commerce here. We actually had a meeting back in the summer with, it ended up being 3 construction companies. And that generated us having now a pipeline with one company, Scott and Murphy, for concrete work that they need, where they can keep people together on teams and in groups, and some that are stronger with their English skills can partner with those that are weaker in their English skills and communicate on the job together. With some of those companies, that's harder because they got to go out on 1 and 2 teams and they can't be in a big group, but we constantly are giving advice like that, as well as how to make the application process smoother and quicker. Everybody wants to hear back. Nobody wants to apply and not hear anything back, but telling people what their role is has been a huge one. And John, I don't know if you've got any other but we're constantly wanting to get in front of groups of employers to give them the feedback on this. In fact, I will let you guys know that the state legislators had a workforce recruitment and attraction task force, and it met 6 times, I believe, throughout the course of this year, from the summer until the end of the year, for recommendations for the legislator on what can be done to improve Kentucky's labor participation rate and get people connected from youth to, all the way through adulthood. And they invited us to come and speak on this. I was just asked to speak last week on a Education and Labor Cabinet meeting, and so anytime we can have a microphone, we're speaking up about how to create systems change to improve it, because this is a big issue for Bowling Green, and it's a big issue for Louisville and Lexington as well. And our 3 areas, our counties that are served through the workforce development boards, represent 48% of the state's population. And this phenomenon of limited English proficient people in our communities needing services, we're trying to shine a light on that. Absolutely, yeah.
Well, I know so many people come to our community, wanting that American dream for their family and for their kids and their grandkids. And so, being able to have that good paying job to then be able to start making those dreams come true is so huge. So thank you all so much for what you're doing to help our community thrive.
Yes, thank you. Thank you for supporting the work. All right.
Thank you, Brian. Thank you, John. Appreciate y'all being here. Okay, our first item is approval of minutes, regular meeting, January 7th, 2024. Any discussion?
So
Oh,
moved.
sorry.
Second.
So moved by Commissioner Hill, second by Commissioner Perigin. Sorry, preempted. Any discussion? None. Roll call, please.
Beasley Brown.
Yes.
Hill.
Yes.
Perigin.
Yes.
Bailey.
Yes.
Alcott.
Yes. Municipal order number 2025-19.
Municipal order approving the probationary appointment of Kyle Hunt to the position of city engineer in the Public Works Department.
So
So
moved.
moved.
Second.
Moved by Commissioner Beasley Brown, second by Commissioner Bailey. Mr. Mizel.
I'd like to ask Lori Gray, our HR manager, to come up and make this recommendation. Lori?
Evening, thank you all. So I'm here this evening to recommend the appointment of Kyle Hunt to the position of city engineer. Kyle is being recommended for appointment. He graduated from Western Kentucky University with a bachelor's degree in civil engineering. He is a licensed professional engineer in the state of Kentucky. Mr. Hunt currently works for American Engineers, Inc. He previously worked for the city of Bowling Green for 18 years in the Planning and Design Division of the Public Works Department. And we're glad to welcome him back. He is here this evening, if you'll stand up. Let me know if you have any questions.
Thank you, Lori. Kyle, great to see you. It's good to be back. We're happy you're back. I'm happy to be back.
I have a question, Kyle. What took you so long?
Someone with.
Kyle, do you have anyone with you tonight? And would you introduce them, please?
So I've got my wife, Jenny Lee, and our two sons, Dylan and Rodney.
Well, it's good to see the Hunt family back in Bowling Green. Not back in Bowling Green, but back with Bowling Green. So, okay, commissioners, ready to bring Kyle back?
Yes.
All right, let's make this official. Roll call, please.
Beasley Brown.
Yes.
Hill.
Yes.
Perigin.
Yes.
Bailey. Alcott.
Yes.
Congratulations. I don't know who we should congratulate more, you, Kyle, or Melissa?
All right, well, the family's happy, so Public Works is happy, and so is our city. Municipal order number 2025-20.
Municipal order approving the probationary appointment of Aiden Michael to the position of Communications Dispatcher 1 in the Police Department.
So moved.
Second.
Moved by Commissioner Perigin, second by Commissioner Hill. Mr. Mizel.
I'd like to ask Lori to come back up and make recommendation for this position in police at dispatch. Lori?
Thank you. I'm here to recommend the appointment of Aiden Michael to the position of Communications Dispatcher 1. He is here with us, if you'll stand up. Aiden graduated from Hart County High School. He is a member of the Horse Cave Volunteer Fire Department and most recently worked as a distributor for Little Debbie in Rolitz, Kentucky. Please let me know if you have any questions.
Thank you. Aiden, hello, how are you? We're glad to see you. You're getting ready to join an esteemed team. Our Bowling Green Police Department team is by far the best in the state. Incredible leaders, and we're happy that you joined. You have some family members. Would you please introduce them? Well, we're happy that you're joining our team tonight. All right, commissioners? All right, we're going to make it official. Roll call, please.
Beasley Brown.
Yes.
Hill.
Yes.
Perigin.
Yes.
Bailey.
Yes.
Alcott.
Yes, congratulations, Aiden. Municipal order number 2025-21.
Municipal order approving the probationary appointment of Joshua Lee to the position of crew leader in the Parks and Recreation Department.
So moved.
Second.
Moved by Commissioner Beasley Brown, second by Commissioner Hill. Mr. Mizel.
I'm going to ask Tiara Britt, our HR manager, to come up and make this recommendation for our Parks and Rec Department. Tiara?
Evening, Commissioners. How you all doing tonight?
Good.
Good. I'm going to adjust this a little bit. So we would like to recommend Joshua Lee for a crew leader position in Parks Maintenance. This position is open because of a resignation. This person will be taking the place of the second trades worker electrician that we had previously, and he will be working on getting his master's electrician, so we would have two in the Parks Department. So Josh is being recommended, and he has an associate's degree in electrical technology from SCI, and most of his hands-on experience was as an apprentice electrician with Super Home Surplus, and he's currently working with as a journeyman with JB Electric. So he's here tonight with his family. If he will please stand.
Oh, how are you tonight? Looking sharp. Would you introduce your family, please? Wow, a new one. How old? 6 months. Well, congratulations to you tonight, and we welcome you to our team. You come from some great industries out there, so we're happy that you're coming to see us and work with us. All right. Commissioners, roll call, please.
Beasley Brown.
Yes.
Hill.
Yes.
Perigin.
Yes.
Bailey.
Yes.
Alcott.
Yes, congratulations, Joshua. Municipal Order Number 2025-22.
Municipal order approving the probationary appointment of Carolina Ung to the position of Office Associate 1 in the Parks and Recreation
So
Department.
moved. Second.
Commissioner Perigin, second by Commissioner Bailey. Mr. Mizel.
Big night for parks. I'd like to ask Tiara to come back up, make this recommendation. Tiara?
So we would like to make a recommendation for the office associate position at Parks. It's open due to a resignation. We had over 120 applicants. We had 75 to complete their office assessment, and we ended up nailing it down to about 15 candidates that we interviewed. So Carolina was at the very, very top. She did very well on her assessment and was outstanding in her interview. Previously, she used to work with us, unbeknownst to me, at Parks in the golf department, so she's a little familiar with the Parks area. But Carolina is here tonight. She's a graduate of WKU. She has 2 bachelor's degrees, one in marketing, one in international business and supply chain. She is a volunteer for the Amigos Resource Network, and she is also bilingual and working on Mandarin as well. And she's received a lot of customer service experience with Macy's Logistics. They have a family-owned jewelry store here, and I believe that's it. Carolina, if you would please stand.
Oh, Carolina, 150 to 1 standing here tonight. Wow. Pretty impressive. Commissioners? All right, we're ready to bring you on. Roll call, please.
Beasley Brown.
Yes.
Hill.
Yes.
Perigin.
Yes.
Bailey.
Yes.
Alcott.
Yes, congratulations, Carolina. Municipal Order Number 2025-23.
Municipal order approving the purchase of fitness equipment for the Public Safety Training Center in the amount of $142,189.25 with Design 2 Wellness LLC through Omnia Partners and Sourcewell Cooperative Purchasing Contracts.
So moved.
Second.
Moved by Commissioner Beasley Brown, second by Commissioner Hill. Mr. Mizel.
So I've been up to our training center twice in the last 2 weeks, and it's really coming together. It's going to look really, really good. But we need some equipment. We have a really nice workout room up there that we'll have for both training, police and fire academies that are coming through the physical part, but then we'll also need it for our Station 5 crew for fire to stay in shape. We went out and found some equipment on Omnia, the purchasing co-op, and would like to pull the trigger on that and purchase this equipment totaling $142,189. Deputy Chief Morris is in the back with us, as well as Chief Brooks and Chief Delaney can answer your questions, and Deputy Chief Bowles. They've all worked together on this, and police and fire have even come up with a fitness program that works for both departments, that they a joint fitness committee, equipment committee that they put together to know what they need from both sides that has put all this together for this facility. So ask for your approval, and those ladies and gentlemen can answer any your questions in the back.
Great.
Just like to know, is this everything you all need?
Could be. We hope it will be. When we put this plan together, we made an effort to make sure we covered all the bases, so we feel pretty confident that it should take care of our needs.
That's good to hear. I can't wait for the facility to be open, but when it's open, I want to make sure it's done correctly and you all have what you need. You all have been patient, waiting for this, and appreciate it, but I wanted to make sure you had everything you all needed.
Do we have an idea about when you all might be able to move in?
Great question. We have a meeting there tomorrow morning. We'll be meeting with the contractors and with the architect. We should have a more updated timeline. So right now, I don't have one for you.
Stay tuned.
Hey.
I will say, I've shared it with the chiefs. I would rather it be delayed and be done correctly than rush it and you wish you had had a little more time. So take your time and get it right.
We feel the same way.
Good. Thank you.
Thank you, Chief Morris. Thank you both, Chief Brooks and Chief Delaney, for being here. And I'll say, Penny, thank you. I know you probably put a lot of work into this, and we're excited. Can't wait. And this is a dream come true. Thank you. All right. Without any further ado, roll call, please.
Beasley Brown.
Yes.
Hill.
Yes.
Perigin.
Yes.
Bailey.
Yes.
Alcott.
Yes. All right. Municipal order number 2025-24.
Municipal order accepting and approving revisions to the computer procedures and ethics policy.
So moved.
Second.
Moved by Commissioner Beasley Brown, second by Commissioner Bailey. Mr. Mizel.
Back in 1994, some smart person decided to put together this computer policies procedures manual. I'm glad that they did, because it just keeps changing all the time. And Danita Weeks, our IT director, has the insight and foresight to keep it current. So Danita is bringing to us revised revision of this policy, and wrote a really good summary memo in your packets, giving you the highlights, basically adding some new sections to include personal identification, identifiable information, security camera footage, artificial intelligence, a new section on that, which is really growing like wildfire, and email access, a new section to comply with the New Americans with Disabilities Act. We're also requiring annual cybersecurity training, because we're under attack every single day, every hour really. And so we want to make sure we're at our best and on our toes with that. So we're requiring employees to take that cybersecurity awareness training. Also, we implemented, or in the process of implementing the password management system. That's an addition here. And then also, we wanted to update for the Cisco Duo mobile application, where you have that dual authentication, sorry, when you log into a device that's owned or under the city's system. And then finally, just want to emphasize the need to be cautious with unsolicited emails. And really, and that goes from myself and all of us in the room. You never know what you're clicking on. You got to be really careful nowadays. It's everywhere. It's on your phones. It's on your emails. So be very, very cautious. We want to emphasize that in this procedures and ethics policy. So Danita's here, can answer any questions on this, but we are recommending approval of this revision for this policy.
Great, thank you. Mizel?
Revisions.
Anita, does this cover text messaging? I'm getting text messages asking me to pay my toll for going over a bridge, and we do travel quite often, and I know there's pay bridges up in Louisville, but I don't think they're going to text me for that. But I would say, for anybody out there that's getting those, if I'm getting them, a lot of other people are.
We do cover kind of all areas within the policy. It includes not only emails, but text and things that you can get through social media or even phone calls. You can have a social engineering where someone's just acting like they're someone else. So there's a lot of bad actors out there and a lot of different methods that they use. So this policy, we try to be very broad and cover those and make sure it's one of the additional reasons for the annual training, to make sure that we're keeping people kind of abreast of new attack methods and things like that they may not be aware of. We're trying to keep them aware of that with this policy.
Is this annual training web-based, or is it face-to-face?
Yes, it is. It is web-based. It's all where you can do it online, even if you're not on a city PC, you can still do it remotely online.
Nita, how much time are you all spending on this stuff now? I know we had an employee just a week or two ago that was basically shut down for 2 days because of attempts of hacking into her account. Can you talk a little bit about that?
Sure. It is, as the city manager mentioned, it's a constant battle that we face. More and more of our time is spent not only trying to protect and defend against that, but then just dealing with minor issues. We've been fortunate to not have any major issues that have taken down our systems. That is because of a lot of things that you guys have approved of protective software and protective procedures to try to prevent any of those type of attacks, but things still do happen. And then one of the things that takes so much time is when something does happen, we have to research and be 100% secure that we know the source of that we know how it got into our system, ensure that everything is clean, that is not carrying over in some other way. And so that sometimes takes weeks of effort, sometimes months, depending on what it is. We work with a lot of external vendors to try to help us with that, but it does require an immense amount of staff time, and that's only increasing. So our staff time did not used to be utilized towards cybersecurity protection, and now a majority of our staff time is probably utilized towards cybersecurity protection. So it is an ongoing issue that we face.
Prevention is critical.
Yes, absolutely.
Quit staff to be able to shift and pivot like that?
We struggle. We stay behind a lot. We do the best we can with the resources that we have, and that's probably will be a continual thing that you see from the IT department as additional staff to try to fight this.
Anita, I guess with this, the software that we have, AI, like you said, is growing, and we know it's getting better, each and every day. But we also have other software besides the AI that can replicate a voice, and today they can also replicate the image. And it can also look like it's coming from a certain email address or even the phone number. The things that we have in place, will it grow to be able to fight those type of things that is already here, but it's going to become more prevalent within the next couple of years?
Once again, we try to do what we can to prevent. We have to grow at the same speed, and that is sometimes very difficult to do, especially municipal government. It's very difficult to stay at the same pace that new threats are coming out. We do our best to try to stay educated, to attend trainings and conferences of any kind of new methods that are being used with AI and impersonation, phishing, any kind of social engineering has become more advanced. One big thing is keeping our end users educated about those, because it's not just us, we can know about it. A lot of the protection that we put in place, they are designing new ways around that, and the fastest way is to go directly to a user, someone that's already on our network, and fool them so that they can get their account information, get logged in as them, and that obviously bypasses some of the security that we're preventing for external people. So that's probably the most common way, and so that is just a huge reliance on our end users of staying aware. That's why we were adding some of these things to our policies. But it is a constant battle, not just for us, but everybody, to stay on top of how fast things are changing. There's a lot of money to be made. That's why people are attacking and taking advantage and getting access to information that they can sell, and taking down systems and ransom for that. So it is very lucrative, and we will not see that stop anytime soon. So we just have to do what we can, and that is an effort that we make every day in the IT department to try to protect our systems and our data and the citizens' information.
Let me ask you this is the last question, though. A lot of systems, I guess, from other states, they have more of a biometrics type of thing. But I love the two-step method because it helps us out. It is timely, but it does help us out. Some of those systems where it's linked to the biometrics, it generates a password, a harder password each and every day, or sometimes each and every week. Is that something that in the future probably needs to be explored?
Yeah, there is endless methods to secure our system. What we have to keep in mind is that our end users have to be efficient and be able to do their jobs and in a timely manner. So we have to balance the level of security that we require someone to go through to do their job with what they need to accomplish to, meet requests to get their daily tasks done. And that's a hard line sometimes to find that balance. And so we will continue. If you ask our users now, they have way too much security, and everybody hates security. And so we do small steps, and we try to do what we can to protect as much as possible, but still allow our staff to be able to do their jobs and do that well and efficiently.
Thank you.
Thank you, Dania. Thank you for the hard work put into this. We know it's an ever-changing evolution of protection versus practicality, so thank you. Okay, no further discussion. Roll call, please.
Beasley Brown.
Yes.
Hill.
Yes.
Perigin.
Yes.
Bailey.
Yes.
Alcott.
Yes, municipal order number 2025-25.
Municipal order approving construction and accepting maintenance of Greystone subdivision, section 19.
So moved.
Second.
Moved by Commissioner Perigin, second by Commissioner Bailey. Mr. Meisel.
Developer here, Greystone, Section 19, has asked the city to accept that section of their subdivision. Melissa and her team, Melissa Kanzler, went out and November 4th did an inspection and followed up with the January 8th inspection. Everything's good to go. We would be accepting roughly a quarter of a mile of roadway with the right-of-way and sidewalk, along with storm sewer. There is a deal that the developer is required to warranty the work for a period of 2 years from the date of acceptance, which will be today, and then we'll go out 2 years from now and do an inspection, make sure everything is good to go. Any repairs that would have been caused by the developer will be their responsibility, and it's worked out good to do that. So Melissa's here, can answer any of your questions. Andy's here as well, so recommend your approval.
Mr. Meisel, thank you, Melissa, for doing that and being here tonight.
Wow, Melissa, 19, section 19. How many homes are in Greystone subdivision? That sounds massive. Is that our largest?
Basically started developing about the time I started with the city, and this is the last section.
20 years ago?
20, probably.
Wow. Wow.
This last section is actually a different developer than the first 18. But closing out, I think we've accepted all the ones prior. We don't always accept them in order, depending on what it takes to get it finished. So there are a lot of homes out there, and they are building out as soon as they get the infrastructure in. So it's
They're
good.
nice homes, beautiful homes.
They are. There's some really, really nice ones in the back there.
That's incredible.
Other questions? Roll call, please.
Beasley Brown.
Yes.
Hill.
Yes.
Perigin.
Yes.
Bailey.
Yes.
Alcott.
Yes. Municipal order number 2025-26.
Municipal order approving construction and accepting maintenance of Kentucky Trimodal Transpark subdivision, section 2, lot 11.
So moved.
Second.
Moved by Commissioner Bailey, second by Commissioner Beasley Brown. Mr. Meisel.
So if you're familiar with the Transpark, up in the corner between 31W and 6880, there was a cul-de-sac, and it's kind of been slowly developed, but it's ready now. It used to be a dead-end street. They extended it into cul-de-sac. It is completed. There's actually some tenants, I think, along there. They are ready to be accepted into the city maintenance. So Melissa, again, and her team went out, did an inspection in December, followed up with one a week later. Everything is good to go with that section of Technology Way, the cul-de-sac, the dead-end part. Really only looking at 250 linear feet with some sidewalk and storm sewer. Again, we'll go out, Melissa's team, Public Works, will go out 2 years from now and make sure everything is still holding up and in good shape, and nothing needs to be fixed by the developers. So recommending your approval on this one as well.
Great,
And
thank you.
Melissa can answer any of your questions on this one too.
Thank you. Melissa, thank you again for doing that. Commissioners, at this time, questions? Roll call, please.
Beasley Brown.
Yes.
Hill.
Yes.
Perigin.
Yes.
Bailey.
Yes.
Alcott.
Yes. Ordinance number BG 2025-1, first reading, non-binding.
Ordinance amending Code of Ordinances. Ordinance amending Chapter 15, Business and General Regulations, to add Subchapter 15-9, Medicinal Cannabis Businesses of the City of Bowling Green Code of Ordinances.
So moved.
Second.
By Commissioner Bailey, second by Commissioner Hill. Mr. Mizel.
As you all know, medical cannabis became a lawful activity January 1 of this year, and so we feel that we needed to have something to fall back on. We don't know how the state is going to monitor and enforce, so I'd like to hand this one off to Hillary. She's worked really hard on writing this section, this addition to Chapter 15, and I'll turn it over to Hillary, give you an overview, and it can answer your questions.
Yes, thank you. I sent this to you all last week. Hopefully everyone got it. I think it's fairly straightforward. We did feel like now that there have been businesses chosen in the lottery to come to Warren County, that we should have some local control. So this requires them to fill out our business registration as well as a more particular application specific to medicinal cannabis businesses. Requires a $500 fee, which gives us time and money to, if we need to look into these businesses at all. We're going to have additional costs with police and with licensing, and requires them to renew that every single year, which is helpful if they change operators, if they change owners. We'll have that information. I know that you all are familiar. We have very few licenses that are regulatory, but one like this is really important so that we do have those local control if they violate state laws, if they violate regulations, if they violate any of our local laws, our zoning, then we can go on with our procedures to revoke those licenses. We have developed a form. We have not gotten any requests from anyone yet. I think they're all still trying to figure out where they want to go and where they can go, but Ben has not heard from anyone recently. He has had some conversations with those people that won the lotteries. We have not had anyone apply yet. So I'm happy to get this in place so that we have an application, a fee, and the ability to kind of have our own local control. I did put in there that if they were to violate and have a license revoked, they couldn't apply for 2 years, and that would apply to anybody, not just the operator, but the owner, the licensee. So let me know if you all have any questions. But I'm glad to get this in place prior to having any businesses here.
Is the application process already open, or are we waiting?
Well, our application is ready once we pass this ordinance. And then also Planning and Zoning has prepared a form that they would sign off on to say that where the business is going does comply with. Because if you all remember back in March of last year, we put in a number of zoning regulations for them. So we want to make sure we're all working together with police, with planning and zoning, with licensing, making sure they're paying net profits, paying occupational fees, as well as following all of the rules and regulations put in by the state. So, and we would take complaints, from police, but also from anyone, in the city if they know of violations. So.
Hillary, the state cabinet that will be overseeing this is the Health and Human Services Cabinet. Is that correct?
Right.
So-
The cabinet they're in charge of enforcement. So, and they have a whole license revocation procedure as well. So if it's one of their violations, we would then refer it to them. But we do have the option as the city to revoke their city license if they're violating any state laws, which I think is important.
Hillary, a reminder, were we allowed 2 licenses for Warren County?
2 dispensaries.
2 just.
No, 1 dispensary. They awarded 2, but the second one has the option to then go somewhere else. So we will only have 1 dispensary in Warren County.
What are the restrictions on their locations? I think that's what the general population might want to know.
We did that in March, and Ben may be able to speak to it better, but state law requires that they be, so far away from schools. We included in our ordinance, not just KDE-funded schools, but all schools. They cannot be within 1,000 feet, I believe, of one another. They can't be in any of the overlay zones, so Lover's Lane, downtown. They have to be in, I want to say dispensaries or general business. Is that right? Ben will probably remember this better than me.
So it's highway business.
Highway business.
They can't be located within a mile of another facility. And then all the other 1,000 feet of any school or daycare. And school, we expanded to mean university, property, all schools. And then also cannot be adjacent to any residential properties or zone or agriculture. So when it's all said and told as it's set at the time we did it, there was probably 15 to 20 locations total that for a dispensary to go. There's 3 basic categories. So we have the grower, if you will, cultivator. So that's where they grow the plants. Processors, which is the manufacturing of the products that will ultimately be sold. And then the dispensaries themselves, where's the retail sales, if you will. So this is talking about the retails, any cannabis business, but all the rules we just discussed are for the retail sales, those dispensaries.
And Ben, just as a public awareness, my understanding is that all products or all dispensaries have to use Kentucky products that are grown here, cultivated here, processed here, and sold here.
Everything from the start of the seed growing into a plant all the way through the processing, all that has to be Kentucky proud or Kentucky made and Kentucky sold. So it will take a while to generate that homegrown product or that state-grown product to be ready. So we probably have a couple more months before we would see those products being sold at a dispensary. So they still have to grow plants in the middle of winter if they started today. So I think we've probably got a little bit of time before we would see those products.
When you say dispensaries can't be located within a mile of each other, but we only have one license.
For
Is
now.
that in anticipation of boom?
Right.
It's my understanding that the first, I guess, iteration of this for 2025 was one license, and then I think they'll evaluate the need in 6 months to a year, and then every year, if that need is, I guess, determined to be bigger than just one facility, then the state would issue further licenses. And that, again, is just for dispensaries. We have 2 of the cultivator licenses for Warren County, so the growers, and then 2 of the processor licenses as well for Warren County. And so that's the manufacturers, if you will.
Can I ask if you've had a lot of interest in those licenses?
There's been quite a bit of interest. We haven't had the calls so much lately just because the entities have been picked. We have those total of 5 licenses now for the community. So those 5 are trying to figure out where they're going to go. But previously, yeah, we probably had 5 a week while we were leading up to the state lottery for that.
Thank you.
Also, in terms of public education, it's my understanding that this isn't just not going to be sold in just like a regular vape shop type of format, but it's got to be behind a counter, just like a pharmacy. So it's, in order to protect our youth and, we, of course, the folks who need it for their medical conditions, but it's much more like a pharmacy. Is that correct?
That's my understanding. It has to be a standalone facility. They can't have any other business activity in that facility. So you can't, or any other business activity in the medical cannabis chain either. So you couldn't have a practitioner that writes a prescription in the same building as the dispensary that sells it. So yes, absolutely. And that's all part of those state laws and enforced by the state. And then we'll have to see how that trickles down to the local.
Thank you, Hillary. Thank you, Ben. Appreciate your candor and preemptive drive to get ahead of this. Commissioners, any further questions at this time? And this is a first reading. It's non-binding. Roll call, please.
Beasley Brown.
Yes.
Hill.
Yes.
Perigin.
Yes.
Bailey.
Yes.
Alcott.
Yes. Municipal order number 2025-27.
Municipal order approving the appointment of Belle Hunt to the Hobson House Commission.
So moved.
Moved by Commissioner Perigin, second by Commissioner Hill. This is my privilege and honor to recommend Belle Hunt to the Hobson House Commission. There's an open position. Belle was a middle school teacher. She graduated from WKU with a BS and a master's and has a rank 1. She's served on many, many boards, but a few of them are WKU Foundation, Vice Chair, University of Libraries Advisory Council. In 2019, she was named the Philanthropist of the Year through the university, and it's my recommendation to recommend Ms. Belle Lady Hunt to the Hobson House Commission.
Good pick, Mayor. Lady Belle Hunt is a good friend and has been for a long time, and she will serve that well. She's great.
Further comments, questions? Okay. None. Roll call, please.
Beasley Brown.
Yes.
Hill.
Yes.
Perigin.
Yes.
Bailey.
Yes.
Alcott.
Yes. Okay, we're checking now for public comments. Our next scheduled meeting will be February 4th at 2025 at 4:30 p.m. Also, our Board of Commission will be meeting as Strategic Council at the BG Hot Rods Club Room. We'll be there on 30 January from 8 to 4:30. At that meeting, as we plan out our next year and work with our city staff on many endeavors that have continued on. Okay?
Mayor, can I
Ashley?
thank the Williams family one last time?
Of course,
And,
absolutely.
for coming in and sharing their exceptional young man with us. And so thank you all for coming. And thanks for staying for the meeting. That's what's so impressive. Yeah,
That's impressive.
I
And
hope
if you
that
heard, there's
was-
job opportunities with the city, and actually, and especially in the tech world, Danita may be recruiting your family here.
Can they work at 14? You need a computer builder, Anita? But-
All right,
thanks.
at this time, we are going to go into our closed session. Thank you, everybody. We're going to